Imagine you are playing a game with your friends. You say, "I have 100 points." But actually, you only have 10 points. Your friends think you are winning, but it's not true. Or imagine you tell your teacher you did all your homework, but you didn't. At first, it seems fine, but when the truth comes out, everyone is upset. This is what happened with WorldCom, a huge phone company. They lied about their money, tricked a lot of people, and caused big problems. WorldCom started back in 1983. It was a small company in Mississippi, led by a man named Bernard Ebbers. At first, it was like a small player entering a big tournament. But soon, Ebbers wanted to become a champion. The company grew by buying many smaller companies. The biggest move came in 1998, when WorldCom bought MCI Communications for $37 billion. This deal made WorldCom the second biggest phone company in the United States. By the year 2000, WorldCom had around 88,000 workers and made about $39 billion every year. People thought it was unstoppable, like a player at the very top of the leaderboard. But then came the slowdown. In the early 2000s, the phone and internet business was not growing as fast as before. Customers were fewer, and competition was tougher. WorldCom's real profits started to shrink. Bernard Ebbers did not want anyone to know the company was struggling. If investors found out, they might sell their shares, and the company's value would fall. So, the leaders made a bad choice. They decided to cheat. They changed how they counted money. One big trick was with line costs. Money WorldCom paid to other phone companies. Instead of counting those as normal expenses, they moved them into a different box called assets, as if it was something valuable for the future. Simple example. Imagine you spend 100 coins in a game for extra lives. Normally, those coins are gone, but WorldCom pretended the coins were still in their account. On paper, they looked rich, but in reality, the money was spent. In 2002, a hero appeared, not in a game, but in real life. Her name was Cynthia Cooper, head of WorldCom's internal audit team. Cynthia and her team worked late nights, secretly checking the company's books. They found something shocking. Over $3.8 billion had been placed in the wrong accounts. That meant the company had been lying for several quarters. When investigators dug deeper, they found the fraud was even bigger, about $11 billion. On June 25, 2002, WorldCom admitted the truth. The chief financial officer, Scott Sullivan, was fired, and the US government opened an investigation. When the news broke, trust disappeared overnight. WorldCom's stock, which had once made the company worth over $180 billion, dropped to almost zero. On July 21, 2002, WorldCom declared bankruptcy, the largest in US history at that time. The company listed $107 billion in assets and $41 billion in debts. Around 17,000 workers lost their jobs. Millions of ordinary investors, teachers, workers, retirees lost their savings. Families who had trusted WorldCom for their future were left with nothing. The company later tried to reorganize under a new name, MCI, but the damage was too deep. In 2006, Verizon bought MCI, ending the WorldCom story. After the collapse, the law came for the leaders. Bernard Ebbers, the CEO, was put on trial. In 2005, he was found guilty of fraud, conspiracy, and making false reports. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Scott Sullivan, the CFO, and other managers were also charged. Some admitted guilt and helped investigators, so they got lighter sentences. The company agreed to pay $2.25 billion to settle lawsuits from angry investors who had lost their savings. Example: imagine if a player cheats in a school gaming contest. When caught, they not only lose their medal, but are also banned from playing again. That's what happened to WorldCom's leaders. They lost everything. The WorldCom scandal made the world realize something. Companies needed stronger rules to stop cheating. So, in 2002, the US passed a new law called the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. It required companies to be honest about their money, keep records safe and clear, have outside auditors double-check their accounts, punish leaders personally if they lied. This law rebuilt trust and made it much harder for another WorldCom to happen again. Example: just like game organizers add referees, cameras, and fair play rules to stop future cheats, the government added strict laws to stop companies from lying again.